There it is, dude. Alex Straza. Look at all, and the whole gang comes in, swoops in with their dragon wings. What is a squad formation, dude? Red leader standing by. Gold leader standing by.
The world is healing.
Oh my gosh, dude. I really hope it's exactly like this and everyone's on dragons swooping around and acting all crazy.
Together, we shall be Azeroth's protectors.
Dude,
once again.
this looks
Here,
so good.
The new age of dragons shall begin.
All right, guys, so what we have next here is the Dragonflight reveal. And now this came out back in April. I believe it was April, but I didn't start streaming until recently. So I wanted to watch this primarily on stream and go over what's going on because I love Warcraft. Anybody who knows me knows that I love Warcraft. I love Overwatch. I love Blizzard games in general. And I wanted to go over this with the community and with the people because, one, I want to see what's looking forward to with Dragonflight. And number two, apparently Dragonflight Alpha is coming out very, very soon. It could come out any day now. It could come out the day that we're recording this. So I wanted to watch this with everybody and kind of see what Dragonflight is really going to have and if it's going to match up with what was announced in April and with what will come up with Alpha, which has to start soon. Because apparently this game is coming out by the end of the year, basically. So let's check it out. Let's see what we got. There it is, dude. Every cinematic combined into one. There it is, guys. Where's Varian?
For the Alliance!
I want to see Varian, dude. I love Varian. Varian's my favorite character in the lore. Varian and Anduin Lothar. I love both factions. I love the Horde a lot. I love the Alliance a lot, but
Hi, everyone.
right now I lean towards the
General
Alliance.
Manager for Warcraft, and with me today are my friends Ian Hazakostas, who is the game director for World of Warcraft, and Holly Longdale, who leads up the production team for WoW Classic.
There you
Really
go.
appreciate you tuning in. I know we're really excited to be able to give you updates on what's happening in World of Warcraft. But first, I want to thank our community for all the feedback you've given us this year, and especially our community council.
It's kind of weird that they're all sitting at this table. It's like this organized round table.
In the upcoming year.
It doesn't
really,
seem natural, but it kind of
particularly
does at the same
The story
time.
of the last 9 months or so of this expansion is all about the community, and it's shaped by what we've been hearing from them, and us realizing as a team that we
coming out with
really needed
Zereth
to do a
Mortis
better
because
job
everyone knew
of
that
making sure the community
9.1
felt heard.
sucked.
And so that led us to the changes we made in 9.1.
Zereth Mortis is pretty good though.
Really
It's not bad.
re-examining some of the assumptions and foundations of World of Warcraft about things like character investment and mains versus alts, or how catch-up should work, or the appropriate role of friction in our systems. And I think 9.15 represented a step in the direction of letting players have more freedom to play World of Warcraft the way they want to play it. And we really built our Eternity's End content update from the ground up around those principles.
What are some of the things that the community said that influenced your decisions for Eternity's End?
Things like the method and pacing of acquisition of the Covenant Legendary item, tons of tuning, and I think every step of the way, we were listening to make sure that we were carrying forward.
Do we have any WoW players in chat?
In the course of 9.15.
Because I love WoW. I love WoW. I just want to know if anybody plays WoW in chat.
Classic
Tell me if you play, what class you play, what race you play.
Because of the community.
Yeah, they continue to help guide and support us as Classic evolves.
World of Warcraft has always been about the world and the players that inhabit it, And
Yes.
we are in a lot of ways curators and caretakers of
Warcraft.
that journey.
What's
and of that
great about
experience. And so once
the
this-
World of Warcraft is that the world itself. I would say Azeroth, but you could say, Outland, Draenor, but the actual world itself is the game's greatest character. As much as I love Varian and Anduin Lothar and Turellian, Tyrion, all that, the greatest lore character in WoW is the world, the actual world. And that's something their players' experiences in that world and how we communicate and how we basically mix with each other and create parties and form guilds and have social events. That is the spirit of Warcraft. Very critical. So I would say Ian's very right about this.
This classic community formed and grew, we had to listen to them.
It's this tide of listening to the community and paying attention to what is a good experience for our players now. And where we really saw a sea change in this idea is with our Season of Mastery round, which is a Season of Fresh Start Classic.
Ragnaros.
Initially, we were talking about it like it was going to be like a fresh start. Let's try this experiment in a season. It'll be about a year long. And then when the community found out about it, we started seeing this upswell.
Yeah, the team just took that idea and ran with it and turned, what started out as a small community project into this Soul of
say what
Iron
you want
system
about
that
Ian.
became
I will say
a
this:
centerpiece
Ian
of
has come
Season
out
of
with some of the
Mastery and a
best
whole new
raids
opt-in
in
hardcore
Warcraft
mode
history.
that we've
Just
seen
straight up
series
out the
built
gate.
around. Lots
Some of the better
you know,
raids ever
thrilling
made
victory
were
and
made by
painful
Ian.
defeat.
5 hours.
He's
I made it 5
a
hours.
raid genius.
Yeah. And
Raid
it continues.
genius.
Like Burning Crusade Classic, we wanted to balance the Paladin seals between Horde and Alliance, so we made an addition there. We wouldn't have gotten there without the community.
Basically, Classic Plus.
So, influence the community. You've got another update and pretty significant controversial change for this.
Yeah, cross-faction play coming in 925,
Dude.
which is on a public test ROM now as a big
Ian,
centerpiece.
cross-faction. You're
Cross-faction
breaking
play.
with a 17-year tradition.
Yeah, it's something. It was not an easily made decision by any means, and I think this is.
Look, here's the deal with cross faction. Okay, I'm gonna be real. My main character is a human warrior. Playing on the Alliance is playing Warcraft on hard mode. It's true. It's true. You know it. I know it. Everybody knows it. It's like playing Warcraft on hard mode because you have less people to play with. You have less ways to group up, less guilds that are completing and progressing in content. Now, granted, I'm not like the world's greatest warrior. I'm far, far fucking from it. I'm middling at best. But if I wanted to do really high-end content, it'd be close to impossible or very difficult to do that as an Alliance player because all of the mid-maxing players play on Horde. And since all the mid-maxing players play on Horde, casual players play on Horde because they want to play with the part, where the most people are at. They want to be where the party's at. Everyone wants to be where the party is at. Nobody wants to play on an empty server. Everyone wants to play on the large server. Nobody wants to play on an empty faction. Everyone wants to play on the large faction. Them introducing cross-faction is a good first step, but I don't know if they're going to take any steps beyond that. But personally, if you want my opinion, they should have just boosted Alliance racials. They did not need to make this difficult. Because if they would have boosted Alliance racials, the casual people who were already on the Horde, most of those people would have stayed. The mid-maxers would have went to the Alliance, and that probably would have evened out. It probably would have evened out. Why didn't they just boost Alliance racials? I don't know. I think them nerfing the human racial was the worst thing they ever did. Them nerfing the human racial was the every man for themselves, made it to like what will to survive. Worst thing they've ever did, because that just exasperated, is what I'm trying to say, the issue with faction and balance in Warcraft.
Another one of those areas where really.
Thank God for cross-faction, dude.
Community
it's about time. Alliance and Horde have been teaming up almost every other expansion. It needed to happen. I'm waiting for cross-faction
guilds.
guilds.
Feel like we're being true to the roots of the game. I think players desire to play with their friends who might prefer a different faction, or to play with the faction that they more closely identify with.
True.
Even though their raid group is elsewhere.
It's really important for me. I play a lot of alts, and I love absorbing the story.
I am also an
Trace, and
altaholic.
Having that ability to play with all of my friends across factions is fantastic.
At the end of the day, the battle cry is for the Horde. It's not against the Alliance. It's not death to the Alliance. It's
for
about
the
pride
Alliance.
in one's faction. And I think there's a way to
Get it
preserve
right,
that
Ian.
and strengthen that.
Get it right.
While giving players the ability to make the same choice we've seen the greatest heroes make time and time again.
I can't wait to do this. I'm seeing a lot of my friends that I never knew had a max level character in the other faction suddenly come out of the woodwork.
And then, with these cross-faction groups,
It's
many of
just
them are going to be
cooler
diving
too. It's
into something new
it's
that we're
cooler
doing.
to have these cross-faction groups because it's never really been done before, and thus it creates this kind of more interesting reason and incentive for players to come back to the game, just because there's more customization you can have with groups. For example, the Void Elves. One of the things that they did do right is whenever the Alliance got their allied races, they gave the Alliance allied races really good racials. The Void Elves have one of the best racials in the game that do not, when they get attacked, when they're casting a spell, it does not slow down the speed of the spell. The spell still casts. It's an amazing, amazing racial for any kind of content. PvP, mythics, raids, all of it. It's good. So I know a lot of people will be playing Void Elves now, especially given that they can play with anybody wherever. I think there's still a lot of barriers, obviously, with the guilds and whatnot, but hopefully they'll get to addressing that more as time progresses.
To kind of cap off Shadowlands, a Season 4. Kind of a remix, a bit of a greatest hits, revisiting all of our raid zones across the expansion, bringing in some familiar older favorites into the Mythic Plus rotation. And we recognize this is kind of a closing chapter, a little bit of a send-off to Shadowlands. As everyone gets ready for what happens
Thank
next,
fucking
what will come
God.
next, want to get,
Shadowlands
a funny challenge
is-
everyone to sink their teeth into.
Really cool stuff for
Shadowlands.
modern WoW players. I'm super excited
That's
about
what
the
we-
gear upgrades that you're going to give me and the chance to go back and play some of those awesome raids.
There's a lot to explore. Very exciting.
For our next adventure in World of Warcraft, we're going to go back to Azeroth. We're going to a
That's
space
damn right.
high fantasy. I mean,
High
our fans of Azeroth for a long time.
classic
This has been
Warcraft,
kind of the
baby.
foundation of much of the lore
Classic
of WoW.
Warcraft. High
So,
fantasy.
Without further ado, let's watch the cinematic.
I've already seen this, but we're gonna watch it because it's so goddamn good. I love this cinematic. I'd watch it 1,000,000 times. Just be good. I want this expansion to be so damn good, guys. I want it to be so damn good. I'm on the copium. I am on the copium train, guys. Copium.
It cries out in pain. We must go to its aid. We entrust our
The Titans.
ancestral home to you,
The Watchers.
the Watchers.
They got the Titan runes. That's damn right. Dude, look at this. This is a beautiful mountain range. It reminds me a little bit of Mist of Pandaria, and that's a good thing, because Mist of Pandaria was an amazing expansion. But they'll talk about this later, but there's a mechanic in this expansion called dragon riding, which is basically like flying plus. It's flying with mechanics. It makes it interactive instead of like no clipping through a map in Fallout 3 or New Vegas. Anyways, dragon riding, you'll be able to swoop in through these mountains and kind of do spins and twirls and tricks and things of that. I hope there is a mechanic where you have to like do certain challenges, kind of like how you have the Dark Moon Fair with the wings and you go through the rings. I hope it's like that, but better with these mountain ranges and things of that nature, because they obviously built the world in this expansion around the dragon riding mechanic, and it's important that they not only capitalize on that, but make sure that the dragon riding mechanic is actually good.
Let the land slumber, hidden even from our own eyes. You will feel
This
our
happened
return
10,000 years ago.
in the waking
This
of
is the
land.
War of the Ancients.
Then
The first time the Burning Legion attacked Azeroth, I believe.
Lest the path home be lost to us forever.
Blizzard Entertainment presents. Now. 2022. He wakes up from his slumber. No face. And there's an interesting thing I saw on Reddit about these titans that I'll mention here as he climbs. You'll see. So that first titan, he didn't have like ears. I believe it was ears. And then I want to see the next one here, because they're all basically decrepit and eroded away. This one has no mouth. And I think the next one has no eyes. We'll verify really quick. This reminds me so much of Wrath of the Lich King, where you go into the Storm Peaks, and you go inside the Ulduar engine, and you complete those quests with Brand and Bronzebeard and Mimiron. Those are some god tier quests. I really hope this entire expansion is like Ulduar level. Oh yeah, so the first one had no eyes. This one, the other one had no ears. No, you know what I'm saying. You already know what I'm saying. Speak no evil, hear no evil, see no evil. I think that's what they're trying to say. I'm getting all flustered because I'm too damn hyped. I'm on the copium, baby. So he's trying to reactivate the signal, like the beacons, like in Lord of the Rings. God, dude. It's gonna push together. He lifts. That's right. He's fulfilling his purpose. The Titan Watchers were made to help the Dragonflights. They must return. The sky clears. There it is, dude. Alex Straza. Look at all, and the whole gang comes in, swoops in with their dragon wings. What is a squad formation, dude? Red leader standing by. Gold leader standing by.
The world is healing.
Oh my gosh, dude. I really hope it's exactly like this and everyone's on dragons swooping around and acting all crazy.
Together, we shall be Azeroth's protectors.
Dude,
once again.
this looks so good.
The new age of dragons shall begin.
The only thing I wished is that they actually had Alex Straza's human model or elf model in the trailer, because you know, she's like my waifu, so.
Dragons!
Dragons.
This is so cool.
No one saw it coming.
Motherfucking dragons, boys.
Carefully kept secret. But seriously, I mean, what did we just see there?
The awakening of the Dragon Isles, the return of dragons, the dawn of a new age. Right, we've seen Rathian searching for his father's legacy, searching for the Dragon
And
Isles.
this is another good thing about Dragonflight right here.
Until now.
Another good thing about Dragonflight is that it has Rathian as a main character. And Rathian has been a character in WoW since Cataclysm, since you help him in the Badlands get born by purifying a black dragon egg. And then he has the quest in Mop, and then he has the quest in, you know, all that shit. You get the, in Battle for Azeroth, and you get the backpack. What I'm saying is he's been in the game for a while. And he hasn't really had a major role, except for a little bit in BFA. And this is his time to shine. This is Blizzard's opportunity to show us they can write a good story by giving Rathian a good payoff. It doesn't even have to be the climax of a story, but I feel like it is. Like he's the last, really one of the last of his kind, and this is a dragon expansion, so this kind of should be his his climax. But they have to nail this. They really have to nail everything with this expansion. But I'm interested in where the story goes, because Rathian's an awesome fucking character, and they shouldn't screw him up.
The beacon going off, is that summoning the dragons?
It is removing the concealment that had hidden the Dragon Isles from the world, but also beckoning the dragons back urgently in
Right.
time of need.
I assume pretty good variety of locales within the Dragon Isles.
Yes, the Dragon Isles, as kind of standard for WoW expansion, consist of 5 zones, 4 standard leveling zones, and a new starter zone that we'll get to in a second.
Can you talk a little bit about how the team found ways to thread the dragon aspects throughout the environments?
The Dragon Isles are a place that is lush and primal,
Dude,
bursting with elemental
say what you
energy.
want about
As
Blizzard
Azeroth
games, I will
himself
say this: the
reawakens,
cinematic and
those
art
primal
teams
forces are
have
expressed throughout the
always been
environment,
good.
whether it's
They have
magma
always been
activity,
good. The
volcanic
music has always
activity,
been
whether
good.
it's
The
icy
environments
waste,
have
the
always
azure
been good.
span,
The
and
art
each
has
one of
always
those
been
has a
good.
connection to a
Blizzard
Dragonflight
games
that we've
have
seen before.
always
And
been
it's gonna be
good.
an amazing place for players
Always.
to arrive at and explore.
All right, you know I'm going to ask.
Yes, okay, so
Can I be a dragon?
let's start getting into some features here
Oh,
and what
God,
Dragonflight means for you as well
Can
as
you
the
be a
place.
dragon?
So first off, yes, we have an all-new playable race, the Drakthir race.
Oh my god, guys.
This is a
Holy
dragon,
shit,
iconic
dude, you get to
race
pop off,
of
you get to be a
dragons in
dragon
Warcraft
now?
Have the ability
You get to
take
be a
on human
dragon?
form.
What classes can
That's
they
They
damn
have
right.
Unique abilities as literally a dragon.
Holy
that doesn't quite
shit.
fit any of our existing classes. And so what we're doing is this is not
The
just a new
Drakthir.
race, but it's also a new class. You know, adding a new race to World of Warcraft, and not just an allied race, is something that we don't do lightly. But telling this expansion, this story, so focused around dragons, felt like the perfect time for it.
It's the
So if you were a
ultimate
Drakthir,
dragon
you will be the
expansion.
evoker
I love
class.
dragons, by the way.
Drakthir can only be evokers, evokers can only be Drakthir. And the reason why only a Drakthir could be an evoker is that an evoker is really combining the ability to call upon the magic of the different aspects with the unique physical gifts that a Drakthir has. The ability to actually take flight and do an Onyxia-style strafing deep breath over the battlefield, land on the
Onyxia-style.
other side, knock everyone back with a wing
Remember,
buffer,
target
and then
whelps,
unleash
50
your magical
DKP
abilities.
minus.
Yes, please.
The evoker has 2 specializations. They're a hybrid of either range DPS or healer. And they wear
A new
mail
healer
armor.
and a new
We figured,
DPS, guys.
With the new hero
Ranged,
classes
finally.
added over the years, we have enough melee. We don't need more of those, and also probably don't need any more leather wearers.
The raid leaders are going to love you for that.
Exactly. This is definitely a hero class, and so that means that, you know, like the Death Knights before them or Demon Hunters, they'll
Hero
be starting
class.
level 58, and then they're going to have a new starter zone. So they're going to have a slightly different journey into the Dragon Isles as opposed to the rest of us that are sailing there from other parts of Azeroth.
Can you talk a little bit about the customizations? Like what is going to be able to identify my Drakthir character?
Basically anything and everything.
Dude,
you know, skin color,
dude,
hair
the
color,
scalies
jewelry,
are gonna go wild.
Tattoos, other adornments.
I-
You can
I
make
wanna,
this character the expression of
When the
your identity.
expansion comes out, I want to go to Moonguard and Goldshire and just see
Class,
how
yep,
outrageous
race.
it gets.
Tell us about
Just to
some of the
what level of
system
depravity do
updates.
people go
So,
with this?
Of course, the new expansion brings with it.
You give them the
new
clay and
systems,
the
new
artist has
features.
to, you know,
I think
mold
in
it.
recent expansions, one of the things we've tended to do is really have these deep features that were closely tied to a specific expansion that would then get left behind as we moved on.
True.
And we've heard loud and clear from players that, you know, it's kind of a bummer to start off every new expansion by leaving a large part of your character behind. by leaving
Big
a large
true,
part
it's
of your
bullshit.
progression behind.
No one likes
so this
it.
time around, what we're doing is really pouring all of our energy into permanent revamps, overhauls, and improvements to World of Warcraft's core
See,
systems.
this-
Things like our progression systems, in this case, our talent system is something that we want to
Yeah,
completely revamp. We
dude.
want to take a look at our UI. We want to take a look at professions.
So with the talent revamp,
So this is important. So basically, they're saying this is going to be the first expansion, I think, since Warlords of Draenor, that you won't have artifact power, you won't have Azerite power, you're not going to have Covenant power or whatever the fuck, you know, the soul bindings. People don't want that bullshit. They don't want it because they know it's going to go away at the end of the expansion. Don't do it. People just don't fucking like it at all. And I'm assuming they heard that. They got a lot of feedback with how the original skill trees were done with classic Warcraft and classic Burning Crusade. And they just said, hey, fuck it. We're just going to give them what they want. We're going to give them skill trees. And that's it. And revamp the professions, revamp the UI, revamp the core systems of the game and not dick around and do any bullshit. And that's exactly what people like me want. And I think that's good for the game because you're removing the glut that the game doesn't need. You're making the game simpler by doing this.
And the arrival of Classic. Did you learn anything about how our talents work?
I think seeing a new generation of players
That's right.
play with those talents and work through those talent trees really underscored some of the things that frankly
That's damn
we
right,
lost
guys.
when we shifted to the Mists of Pandaria style talents and beyond. A big piece of that was some of just the granularity, the feeling of getting a level and spending a point to customize your character to make yourself a bit better in some specific way. But also, you know, that sense of hybridity that you could have. That's something that we've largely lost. And so the new talent system avoids...
There it is, the new talent system. These look amazing. Honestly, I'll be honest, these look amazing. I love these. You can make so many different kinds of characters with these, just with a druid. Imagine what the warrior one looks like. Imagine what the hunter one looks like. Imagine what the mage one looks like. This is going to be amazing. I think I'm really on the copium. I really think that this expansion could revitalize WoW.
Directly pitting player power throughput choices directly against those sort of utility hybrid choices, because we know that there's always a
Looking
right
pretty
outcome
good.
there. And we also understand
Looks like
that,
they progressed
there's
a
lot of
little.
strength in the flexibility of the modern talent system to let players customize their talents for a particular encounter or for dungeons versus PvP, and we don't want to lose any of that.
So John, UI?
Oh my God. Yes, I got this 30-inch monitor trying to keep
Finally.
track of where I am on
Warcraft's
the map. Oh,
UI
that's
has
awesome.
been
over
ancient
here, what's
for
going
such
on
a
in
long
chat.
time, guys.
It has literally
Ancient.
made my eyes go like this. So
You're not alone in that. We've made a lot of incremental changes and additions over the years, but really this is a revamp. This is an overhaul. And so we're excited to really modernize the look and feel while staying
Thank
true to
God.
the origins of World of
Like
Warcraft.
I said,
Now,
I
at the
feel
same
like
time, we're not looking to
I
take
really
away the
feel like this is like
power
WoW
user customization
2.0.
there. Add-ons are still there if you want them, but we want a much better default out-of-the-box experience
Thank God.
for all players, new and old alike.
can I
Thank God
reduce
for
elements,
that.
remove elements? If I want to explore the world and see the beauty of Azeroth,
When it
Look at
comes
that.
to
It looks
specific
pretty
elements,
nice.
As much as possible, we want to let players choose what to show and what to hide so that they can control it themselves.
You mentioned professions. I have a critical question about this.
Go on.
Can I wear a chef's hat?
yeah, I knew it.
Our approach to professions in Dragonflight is really all about delivering on fantasy and identity as a crafter.
Exactly.
And so if you want to be a serious blacksmith, if you want to be a great leather worker, we want to deliver the ability
remember
to
back when
invest
professions mattered?
time and energy into that.
Like I
Become a
said, I
master
think they were
crafter.
getting all this
Be able to make
information from
items that are
Classic.
in
They used
demand,
Classic and
interact
Burning
with the
Crusade
community.
Classic
One of the big pieces
as
that we
basically
wanna do
data
to
mines
support
to
that
see
is a
what
new work
people
order
liked.
system, to
And they
have
saw
a
that
bit more
people
convenience than
liked
just spamming trade chat all
crafting. People
day.
liked
But
being
if
able
you
to
are
make
someone, you're
make
not
some of the
yourself
better
blacksmith,
gear in the
but you
game
have
when
a
they
bunch of
leveled, when they
mats
did
and you
questing, when
want
they did
them
raids.
forged into a great
Doesn't
sword,
have to be every
you can
item
put
best
that
in
work
slot
order
has
up,
to be
those
craftable,
mats offer
but you know,
commission,
being able to craft
and
an
a
epic
skilled blacksmith
two-handed
can come along
hammer
and make
that
you
can
the weapon
deal
of your
massive
dreams.
damage
I think we
is
left out one
amazing
thing,
if it's
though.
one of the better items in the
Be a
game,
Jack theory.
and you can
Go to
just get it
Dragon
through
Isles.
crafting.
Can I have a dragon?
What's the fantasy of dragons if not soaring over the
Yeah, now
lands?
this shit. This is
And
what I
so
was
we're
talking about
excited
earlier.
To introduce a feature that we're calling dragon riding. It's
Dragon
dynamic
riding.
With everything from
This is a
momentum
mechanic,
to
a
dive
system
bombs,
that they
the
have
ability
to master
sort of
because they
build
built
that
the
speed
world
up
around
and
it.
feel the world
This is a
rushing past
must-
you in a way
a
that should be
must
much more
win
exciting
system.
than traditional flight that we've made available in the past.
Now, here's the thing, too. They stole this from Guilds of War 2. Everyone's saying, oh, they took this from Guilds of War 2. They took this from Guilds of War 2. Who gives a shit? Some of the better things Blizzard's ever done, they basically yoink and twisted. That's what I do. I take content, I yoink and I twist it. I steal it and I provide my commentary over it. I give my reaction. I give my opinion on the content. I yoink and I twist. And then by doing that, I create all new content. In the same way, they probably saw how Guild Wars 2 flying was a lot better than their no-clip bullshit that they normally have, and they figured, well, let's introduce this to the game. And they figured a best way to do it is by building a world around it. Make traversing the world fun. They have to master this, and I want to believe that they did because they yoinked it. They yoinked it from Guild Wars 2, and Guild Wars 2 does it pretty good, and they probably just took that system and modified it a little.
But that's also available for players through a customizable dragon mount right from the start.
So
Yeah, dude.
This is a skill you learn over time, right? To become an awesome dragon rider.
Yes, you'll be able to.
Dude,
sort of
yeah, I love
upgrade
dragons. I think this is
aspects of
cool
your
as
flight,
hell.
But you will have this new form of flight from the start. And the dragon companion that you have is, of course, very thoroughly customizable, which is a
Everyone's
new
gonna have
thing
their
for us
own
for
unique
mouse.
dragon.
This
It's gonna
is
be cool
not
as
just
fuck.
a generic dragon that everyone has, but a drake that is yours. You know, what do you want its scales to look like, horns, the shape of its head, other attachments, armor pieces, and more. Take your pick.
This is so cool.
Damn
So
right.
yeah, so the Dragonflight expansion
This
is going to
has the
see
potential
players
to be
leveling
God
to
tier.
70, going to the all-new continent of the Dragon Isles, which consists of 5 zones, 4 standard leveling zones, and a new starter zone
Tuskar.
for our Drakthir class, as well as a range of systems revamps, such as a new talent system, an overhaul and update to our UI, and an entirely fresh look at professions with more depth than ever before. Also getting around the Dragon Isles is going to come in the form of dragon riding, which lets you customize
Dude,
and
like
upgrade
oh my
your own
god, that
mount.
dragon looks
You can
epic.
fly, in a
I want
sense,
that
from the
one.
start.
That's the one I
Of
want.
course, as with any new
I want that
expansion,
red one.
we have a new set of dungeons, a raid, and much more.
What
to
do you
come.
guys
We
think?
also have an alpha that will be starting
Is-
up in the future.
Check out our website for more information and keep an eye out for those
Hopefully
options. Sign up
freaking
if
soon,
you want
guy.
to
It's
help us
July.
Test out Dragonflight. and give us
Hopefully
even more
soon.
feedback to make it better.
We're
We
waiting.
do have a
We're
deep
waiting.
dive that follows this, so please.
When Alpha comes
stay
out, I will
around.
be covering it and
Classic
talking about
players,
it.
we
So
haven't
just be
forgotten
prepared
about
for that.
You could probably guess where we're going to go next. One of the all-time favorite expansions for World of
When I
Warcraft.
started playing
Let's watch
Warcraft
the
as well.
cinematic.
We had forgotten. Did you think we had forgotten? Nothing more. I can see Dream has just begun. Not my king yet.
Watch you do this.
My son, the day you were born,
It's so good.
the very forests of Lordaeron whispered.
I don't even know what to say because I love it so much.
Arthas.
Arthas. Dude, Wrath of the Lich King is epic as fuck.
When my days have come to an end,
That's right. You
shall be
shall be king.
king.
Classic adventures continue. 2022. Dude, Wrath of the Lich King is god tier. I love this.
It's just incredible, isn't it?
I love the
Every
ability
time
that
I
I'll be able to
see
play
the
Wrath of the
cinematic,
Lich
I
King
get
as it
chills.
was.
No pun
Well,
intended,
not
I
as
do
it
really get
was,
chills.
but
as you saw,
Classic Plus,
Wrath of the
'cause
Lich
let's be
King
honest.
Classic is coming this year.
Classic
to bring
needed some
back
changes
so
in a
many
good way.
memories. When you see that cinematic, what do you remember from Wrath of the Lich King?
Anytime you want to talk about undead frozen dragons, how can you not go back
Ice
to
Crown.
Sindragosa as the source? That was the first expansion I played
Ulduar,
with my youngest son.
Storm Peaks,
So
Grizzly
I can
Hills,
remember
Borean
on that
Tundra.
platform,
Literally,
black goo and,
Northrend has
chunks
some of the
ice
best
falling off
zones in the
and having to
entire
repeat that
game.
battle with the Lich King before he
Literally,
finally down him.
The
It was such an
several of the
incredible
best
moment.
zones
He
in the
jumped up out of his
entire
room and I
game
jumped up out
are
of
in
my
one
office, went,
continent, and they have not been topped since.
So it's a very lasting tale for me.
It's outrageous.
So
It's
as you know,
honestly
with
kind of
this
outrageous how
expansion,
good
you will,
Northrend zones
in the
are.
patch, be able to play the Death Knight. They will
The
start
only
at level
zone that sucks in
55. You
Northrend
don't have to have a high level character
is
to make
Crystal
the Death
Song
Knight,
Forest.
So everyone will be able
And
to
everyone
make
knows
one.
why.
We're excited to give players some time before Wrath officially launches.
It's pretty,
to get geared up and ready.
but
to
it's
jump
shallow.
into Northrend with everybody else.
And there are so many zones and
And
areas to
Winter
explore
Grasp, that's
in
okay. I
Northrend.
mean,
And I want us to
it's
talk about
okay,
some
man.
of our
I didn't really
favorites.
like
So
Winter
for
Grasp
me,
that much,
Grizzly
but I'm
Hills
not
has
a
very
huge
special place in my
PvPer.
heart. The music
But
was
every
some of the
other
best
zone,
I've
every
experienced
other
in
zone,
World of Warcraft.
I
Dragonblight,
still make my way all the way
Howling
up to Storm
Fjord,
Peaks to try and
all
find
of
the
it.
time lost prototype.
It's
yet to
god
do
tier.
it.
Sholazar
Gotta say
Basin.
Dragonflight.
All of
The
them are
wide open
god
nature
tier
of the
zones.
zone, Wormrest Temple in the center of it. It's an unforgettable expansion as both a developer and a player, and kind of
Dude,
making
more
that transition
dragons.
from one to the other.
Dragon,
Now
double
let's
dragon.
talk about some changes. So one thing we looked at is Dungeon Finder, and it feels like how we envision Classic, Dungeon Finder is not a good fit for our community.
That
True.
was kind of the first step that may have eroded some of that social fabric.
True. If you want
Now,
Dungeon
as
Finder,
most
just
people
play
gone
retail.
through the experience of going back to vanilla, rebuilding those groups, relying on each other, not wanting necessarily a random participant just to show up and then leave.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
But today, you can do that in Shadowlands. You'll be able to do that in Dragonflight. It's a self-selected group of people who specifically want that different experience.
Yes.
This
Let's
is
make
the
sure that's
best
what we
way
can
they
give
could
them.
tackle these
That
issues.
leads right
Honestly,
into
you have
Arena
Warcraft,
in Burning Crusade Classic.
and that has
So
a
we
very
listened to the
a
community, we
tribal,
removed
very
that, 'cause
societal feel,
individual
and then you have
rating
Warcraft
is
that has a more
preferable,
mainstream
better experience for
feel
them
that's more
than Arena
contemporary.
teams. Also, with Wrath of the Lich King, Barbershop, which allows you to customize your character. We're going to be adding a few more options that were not existing when Wrath launched. But also there's another side of this where we are not going to charge a real money fee. It was a paid character customization fee, right?
Yeah.
It seems the right thing to do that
It's
just
gold.
be available in game for gold, and we
True.
add more options to it.
Good.
Right?
It's sort of like spell batching in a sense. There's a lot of technical advancements, and it's not about the philosophy of what makes classic and what brings people together.
At least
It's
they're
just
being
what's the
realistic
better
about it.
experience.
Imagine them actually
And
charging
let's
money
not
to change your hair
artificially
in the
restrict
game now.
Something that we can provide.
It'd be
a better version
ridiculous.
of
It's
just for the sake of
disgusting.
Nostalgia, and this is we're happy to say this is one.
So
of
at
the
least they're self-effacing
So,
in that
Wrath,
regard.
The level cap's being increased to level 80, so we'll be introducing a level 70 boost so that players who want to get in with their friends or just explore Northrend
They gotta make
right
some
away will
money.
be able to do that. You can't apply it to a Death Knight, but you will be able to use it otherwise.
Okay.
And of course,
Yeah, Death
we
Knights
have
get no free
conscription,
rides.
A whole new profession, so we're really
They're
excited
gonna be getting
about
free
that.
rided enough
Yeah, and as we
with how many
continue
buffs
this
they're gonna
road
get
to
when Wrath
we're
comes
gonna be
out.
looking
If
to
it's
getting
anything
a
like
lot more
last
people
time,
on beta, and we'll make changes as we need to.
Death
Such an
Knights were
exciting
broken on
time to be
release.
playing World of Warcraft.
Everyone knows
We have
that.
The return of the Wrath of the Lich King for classic fans, and taking us somewhere new with Dragonflight. We're so excited to be able to bring these adventures to you. Don't forget, there's a deep dive on Dragonflight where you're going to get a lot more information.
Dude, we should watch that
Thank you
later.
so much for
We need to
spending this
watch
time with
the
us.
Dragonflight
We'll see you
deep
in Asgard.
dive.
And we'll
And
see
we
you
need to
in
watch that
Northrend.
later, guys.
and in the Dragon Isles.
Dude, who is hype for Alpha?